Hi, welcome. I'm guessing you're here because you want to start a book club. Well, I was in the same spot where you are several years ago when my kids were in second and third grade. They were learning to read. They thought it was interesting. It was a new skill, but they really didn't have a passion for it. So, after some time problem solving, trying to think how can I just really spark that love of reading in them, I decided that maybe I should start a book club. Right about that time, I also stumbled upon a podcast by Sarah McKenzie called Read Aloud Revival. She was interviewing a couple um, named Lawrence and Nancy Goldstone. They had written this book, if you can see it, Deconstructing Penguins. They had started a book club for their daughter and ran it all through her school years. They held it at a local library and it was a huge success. They grew attached to all of the students and even followed where they went after graduation. And it just seemed like, from the sounds of it, they had a fantastic model for a book club. So I got the book. I read what they did, and if I was going to boil it down, I would say that they just really aimed to ignite passion and excitement and discussion, but they did not just kill the love of it with writing assignments and analyzing everything to death. So from there, I decided that I would just call up some friends and we would just start with a couple of other kids and see where it goes. Well, that was 8 years ago, and we have had book club every single week, aside from Christmas break and summer break since then. My kids are now in high school, and our book club averages around 34 kids, which is far too large for a book club, but we make it work. So, my goal with this YouTube channel is I'm going to just start really breaking down what we found has worked really well over the years for a book club and what has not worked so well that we've had to just scrap and start over. But through all the years and trying everything out, I think we've really come to a point that we just have this beautiful group that flourishes. We even consistently, year after year, have a waiting list of families trying to get in. So, one of the things that I do get really frequently are questions and people asking how to start a book club and what to do. And so, part of my purpose with this YouTube channel is providing a way that I can just funnel people towards these videos rather than sitting down over and over again and re-explaining. This could be a resource that I can just send people this way and it can give you the step by step on how to get started. Hopefully, I'll start uploading some printables that I've used over the years, and you can grab that as a resource to help out also. So I'm going to just give you a quick overview of what we've done with our book club over the years, and then I'll stop there for today, but I'll continue uploading videos and going into each element step by step. So just as a quick overview, like I said, we meet weekly for about an hour to get the kids together, and we take about 6 weeks per book. So we just look at however many chapters are in that book and we break it down between those 6 weeks. Our first week is always an author study, which is it never disappoints. Always super fascinating because we always see the details of the author's life come out in the books that we're reading. So that's kind of like a scavenger hunt for the kids to see where these things show up. But then from there, we meet for the next several weeks, and I'll go over in future videos on the types of things we do each time we meet. And then on the final week, we do a little book party where they come in costume if they want. We have food, we have games. It's not over the top extravagant, but it's just a really fun way to finish up the book. So when we get together, according to this book, we definitely spend a lot more time just in talking about ideas, um, getting the kids discussing. And it's fascinating because our group, it goes from kindergarten all the way up till right now, 10th grade is our oldest. And you might think, how on earth does that work? How do you have that large of an age range? Well, it's a beautiful thing because our younger ones are looking at our older ones and they're learning how to get into a Socratic discussion and what that looks like. And the older ones, they have this um, kind of pressure on them to kind of rise up and be a mentor for the younger ones. So it all works together beautifully. And the younger ones, they really actually chime in and have some great ideas. And they kind of open our eyes up because they think outside the box a little more. And then our older ones go a little deeper, and that helps the younger ones to kind of um, engage in a thought process that, is just a little more detailed. So, um, one of the key concepts with our book club, and this comes from the Goldstones, is looking at each book not necessarily just as the genre that it's been written in, but looking at each book as a mystery. And the mystery is figuring out what is the secret message that the author is trying to teach. And so every single book that we read, we come back to that question. What do you think the author's trying to teach you? What do you think the author's trying to say? And that's another area where having this age range is beautiful because what a first grader gets from Treasure Island is going to be a completely different message than what our ninth grader gets from Treasure Island. And we often talk about how each time you go back and you read the same book, you're going to pull a different message from it. So it's really interesting to see where those discussions lead. Now, because of the format that we use and we're discussing and talking, and we don't give any assigned writing, and sometimes I'll put something out there as a take-home project, and just for those who are interested, if they want to dig a little bit deeper. But we typically end up doing about 5 books a year, which, I mean, if you're going with the school year, that pretty much is September through May. That'll take you through there. And that seems to be good because a little bit of a break during the summer is nice, and then everybody's excited to come back in the fall. But I mean, you are more than welcome to do book club through the summer too. Summer book club could actually be a lot of fun. We've chosen to stick with a lot of the classics. They're classics for a reason, and there's often a lot of discussion that can go with it, and sometimes they're a little harder, which when you're doing something in a group setting, it's easier to tackle those tougher reads as a group. So it's really good for kind of helping support each other as we go through. So, like I said, the purpose of these videos is going to be just to take you guys step by step and help you get your own group started. Hopefully you can learn from the mistakes I've made over the years and you don't have to repeat those. And hopefully you can also do a little bit of customization to what has worked for us and what might work a little better for your group. As an example, even, we have customized the way we do our book club, and it's a little different from what the Goldstones did with theirs. We follow the mystery concept and the Socratic discussion, but I also really wanted the kids to feel like they were a part of the story, and I wanted them to get a little more hands-on and kind of like more of like a sensory element to it. So I've always included some sort of activity each week, and it might be, when we did Treasure Island, one week they made eye patches, and when we read Christmas Carol, one week I brought in figgy pudding, and we all tried figgy pudding. when we read Swiss Family Robinson's, we had a local grocery store where we could get sugar cane. So we actually brought in sugar cane for them to like gnaw on and try out. So um, just any way in which I could just add a little element each week. It might be something as simple as making a bookmark that looks like a penguin when we did Mr. Popper's penguins, and just a hands-on activity. I felt like that really helped them to engage in the story too, and just really got them excited. And um, I know that there's a lot of people who would say I'm not crafty, and by no means do you have to do crafts, and you don't even have to do the hands-on component. It's just worked really well for us, and I've found a nice balance between a hands-on activity but not an elaborate activity. It's something that, takes 10 minutes or so, and it's just a way of engaging a little bit more and experiencing the story. So that kind of stuff, those are ways that you can customize it. In further videos, I'd love to actually take some of the books that we've done and kind of go over different activities that we've done and what the parties have looked like and what our author studies look like. So I'll work on that in the future and trying to give as many resources as possible, talking about um, books that the majority of the kids have really enjoyed, because over the course of 8 years, we've really, really tackled a lot of books, and there have been ones that just are all-time favorites and others that were tougher reads. um, Never have we done a book that absolutely everybody has hated. That just hasn't happened. But there are definitely some fan favorites and some that surprised us um, as fan favorites. So I would love, love, love to just share all of this with you. Um, I love the idea that these videos could go out there and they might be used to help inspire the next generation of readers. With all of the podcasts and the YouTube and the TV and everything, I just feel like um, enjoying these good stories is kind of a dying craft, and so I would just love the idea that something that I put out here in these videos could help um, just really get that next generation excited about um, another book, like that there would be other kids out there that would know who Toad is from Wind in the Willows, and um, who Bilbo Baggins, and all these characters that we have just grown to love so much. So I just really hope that these videos might help give you the confidence to start your own book club. It's really not nearly as intense as you might expect it to be, especially if you start slow and you just do one step at a time and just don't overthink it and don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple. So hope you join me back here for my next video, and we'll get in a little more to some of the nuts and bolts. Thanks.